I've been selling this tea now for almost 2 years and y'all hoes still fat. I done went and bought new equipment and upgraded my whole situation and y'all hoes still fat. The summer about to roll around and y'all hoes still fat. Buy the damn tea. Everybody upgrading all the way around except y'all. Drop down in the description box and click the link so you can upgrade your body. Damn. There's something on my mind, and I can't hold it in any longer. Y'all, I know this story may be old to some of y'all, but this has been on my mind for a very long time. And this morning before going to the gym, I just felt compelled to talk about it. And it's that TMZ Wendy Williams interview. Want to talk about it? Here you go. I know I may be a day late and a dollar short for some of y'all when it comes to this Wendy Williams TMZ interview, but this thing has really been bothering my spirit for a very long time, and I figured in order to purge my spirit, I have to talk about it. So listen, when Wendy Williams first went out, we heard it was lymphedema, all right? That's fair. She does suffer with lymphedema. Then it was COVID. All right. Then it was she was in the facility for whatever reason or whatever. Then we heard, contract, negotiations, contract stuff fell through. It was even rumored she was back on drugs. We heard all these different things, right? And then it got to a point where people began turning on Denmark Mercury. They're doing Wendy wrong. That's Wendy's show. This, that, and the third. And I'm going to tell you something. I think the thing that's been bothering me the most is that the group of people who we were mad at were actually the group of people who were protecting her. And that TMZ interview proved that. From day one, those people realized that that woman was incapable of continuing to do that show. And they stretched it out as long as they could. COVID, lymphedema, rehab facility, this, that, third. They stretched that thing out as long as they could before making the decision that needed to be made in order to salvage their investment and move along with their daily operations. And I think we all need to take a moment and acknowledge that. Now, a lot of us want to say that Wendy had this mental break as a result of Kevin and that baby, this, that, and the third. I'm not a doctor, neither a majority of y'all. I can't say if that's true one way or another. But one thing that we can say is based on that TMZ interview, she's not capable of doing the job. Y'all would be a damn fool to think that Wendy Williams is getting a podcast today, tomorrow, or next week. If you notice, each and every time there's mention of said podcast, there's never mention of said company. Typically, it goes, Wendy is in talks with XYZ Media about doing a weekly podcast on all right? Now you got to understand, for someone who has done this for as long as Wendy has done this, of course it is in her job, it is in her spirit, it is in her mind to say, I will be back. When I went to Florida State University and got my degree in economics, them people ain't teach me nothing about mental health, okay? I don't know if what Wendy is suffering with is something that is reversible, if it's something that's temporary, or if it's something that is going to grow exponentially and get worse. Unfortunately, I'm leaning towards it's going to grow exponentially and get worse. We were hollering about Wells Fargo is so wrong, And I was making jokes on TGIF about how they had her money all sold up, this, that, and the third. And I kept saying, it's just not that easy to get somebody's rights or get their money sold up. I know this because I went through it with my brother. I had to get my brother's rights taken away. In order to do that, he had to be evaluated by 3 separate psychiatrists who had to come to the same conclusion in order for that process to happen. Wells Fargo cannot simply just decide, okay, we're going to block your money, bam, and you're done for the day. That's not how this works. That's not how any of this works. So for them to have taken that position, knowing the type of media backlash that they were going to get, I am more than sure they followed all the proper protocols to make the right decision. And based on that TMZ interview, the right decision was made. Wendy was incoherent. She couldn't stay on task. She was doing things that were uncharacteristic of somebody who's been media trained as long as she is, holding up her leg. She went from talking about her lymphedema to her new apartment to this to that. She was all over the place. She was not well. While Harvey, and I forgot the black gentleman with the dreads, were doing their job, I wish Harvey would have extended Wendy some industry courtesy and actually not aired that interview. That, coupled with the interview that she did with Fat Joe, where she was all over the place, coupled with the video with Wells Fargo, when she kept saying, it's unfair, it's my money, it's unfair, and that seemed to have been the only thought that she can get out of her head, that right there let me know that something was wrong. Now here's what's concerning. What's concerning is, for us, the viewer, it feels like this is all of a sudden, right? It feels fast acting, because for us, the story starts at the point in which Wendy started taking hiatus. That's when the story starts for us. I would be curious to know how soon before the decision was made for her to take these hiatuses had she been off-centered. Had they been covering for her. I don't know if you guys saw, but recently Bruce Willis's family announced that he would be retiring from acting because he is suffering with some type of neurological disease that makes his motor skills not proper. His short-term memory is not good, and they were already saying that they were having to feed him lines through the thing in his ear. And he's just not at a point where he can work anymore. I would be curious to know how long before Wendy started being absent from work were they having to put those types of provisions in place in order to keep the show going. Now things begin to make a little more sense, because in the very beginning it seemed to be like a question of loyalty. You know, Suzanne and Norman, they're still there. They riding with Sherry. They bringing Sherry in. This Sherry taking her place. This. I am glad that when it is all said and done, and I always say this, if you sit back long enough, the truth will reveal itself. I am glad that when it's all said and done, that there actually was no foul play, that nobody was done wrong, and that the people around Wendy were actually out to protect her and not harm her. I'm glad that that narrative has been corrected. Now, there are some of y'all that are just going to choose to see whatever it is y'all want to see. Because of that, I now fully back Norman, Susan. Not that they need my backing, not that I'm anybody, but I fully support Norman and Suzanne moving forward, being a part of the team of the new show that Denmark Mercury is going to build to be in the Wendy time slot. All right. It's unfortunate because there are a lot of you guys out there who are just going to refuse to reimagine the 10 o'clock hour. I had the opportunity to talk to somebody that was connected or that is connected to the new Sherry show. And I made the comment, and when the time comes, I better be sitting on the sofa or at the table doing the Hot Topics panel with Sherry. And said person said to me, it is not going to be that type of show. Everybody keeps assuming it's going to be that type of show. They just need to sit back and wait and see. I'm actually glad that it isn't. Because that gives Sherry an opportunity straight out of the gate to not be in the shadow of Wendy Williams, right? Of course, those first couple of weeks, y'all gonna have everything to say. It ain't Wendy, it ain't the same. But as with anything, people have very short attention spans, and y'all will get over it. My only concern for Wendy right now at this point is who has her best interest at heart. You know, being a caretaker is not easy. Her son, if he hasn't graduated college just yet, is still in college. He's in his young 20s. That is a lot of responsibility to put on a young man. Unfortunately, it's not Kevin's responsibility to take care of Wendy Williams. Kevin has a family. He's no longer married to her. He's over there with Sharina. None of us seem to be liking the brother. All right. The brother keeps talking, and he has not been deemed an official representative of Wendy Williams. And the brother really is giving me, my sister has been famous for over 30 years, and I've always been jealous. And now it's my opportunity to get some fame speaking off of her. To be honest with you, it's really giving a conservatorship tease. It's really giving a conservatorship tease. We've never known Wendy to have a huge extended family. Maybe she does, maybe she doesn't. Maybe she has an Aunt Charlotte somewhere and a cousin Barbara somewhere that can look after her. But it looks to us like it's Kevin Jr., Kevin the ex-husband, and the brother. This is giving a conservatorship tease. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying she needs to be a ward of the state, but it's giving me a social worker need to check in every 30 days, and it needs to be 2 signatures on any check of her money going out and make sure that her bills are being paid and that no crazy expenditures are being paid with her money. That is what this is giving. With her son being involved somehow, and granted, these types of things happen to families, but it is so unfair for a 20-something-year-old boy to have to. This is going to sound ugly, but I just have to say it the way it is. It's so unfair for a young 20-something-year-old boy to have to postpone all of his hopes and dreams and aspirations and everything else that all 20-year-olds have in order to take care of his mom, but it happens. It happens. Nobody wants to be a caretaker. It's not an easy job. It's a job that often causes a lot of resentment, that we do it from a place of love and we do it from a place of obligation. But if given the option, nobody wants to be a caretaker. And it looks like Wendy needs a caretaker at this time. That TMZ interview proved that Wendy is not going to be able to carry 45 minutes on her own. Listen, I'd be the first person to love to see Wendy get back to our airwaves. Maybe she needs to be a part of an ensemble situation. She yelled out, and see, this is the other thing that lets you know that Wendy ain't all there. In that TMZ interview, she yelled out, potentially going and visiting the ladies at The View. Now, that would be amazing. But the old Wendy that we knew, baby, Effie White didn't sing back up. She didn't do oohs and ahs. Purple Chair Wendy would have never wanted to go be a part of an ensemble or part of The View. I don't see that working. It would be great. It would be ratings gold, but I honestly don't see it working. I mean, at this point, all we can do is pray for Wendy Williams. But I'm here to let you know, if you think, based on Wendy's last couple of media appearances, that she's going to be back on anybody's platform today or tomorrow with, a multi-million-dollar salary, you a fool. Because the writings are on the wall. Y'all drop down in the description box. Be sure to like and subscribe. And I'll call y'all hoes later. Bye.